Here are some of the rules that we had to follow as K-pop trainees. Number 1 was weight checks every morning. We would weigh ourselves first thing in the morning when getting to practice and then send a picture of the scale to the training team. Eventually, the training team started weighing us in person and they would weigh us at random, so we would always be on edge. Another thing that we had to be aware of was phone check. They wouldn't do this often, but sometimes they would just take our phones and then look through them. There's actually a time where they asked for any old usernames and passwords as well as any names that we had used online. From there, they just went and tried to erase our online presence as much as possible. So like old YouTube videos that I was in, pictures of me that were online, and like my old Twitter account that I made when I was 13, they were all gone from the internet. So on that same note, we weren't allowed to have any social media, but aside from like snacking and not dieting, that was probably the biggest rule break because all the trainees had private Instagrams. Another thing that's a little more obvious is no alcohol, drugs, or smoking, even if you were of age. There was this one trainee that had joined at one point, and immediately some girls got like a bad vibe from her, and eventually rumors were spread that she was like smoking in the bathroom. Then some girls found pictures of her online, underage drinking at a bar, and then after that, a few girls that were sharing the same practice room as her saw cigarettes, like a box of cigarettes, drop out of her jacket. That was like the final straw. They took all the evidence and stuff and then went to the training team and got the girl kicked out like the next day. Another thing that mostly applied to foreigners was that we weren't allowed to speak in any other language aside from Korean. All of the lessons were done in Korean, so if you had trouble understanding, you just had to deal with it. Another rule was that we weren't allowed to wear makeup or have untied hair. Aside from times where we had like styling classes or like test photo shoots where we would get our hair and makeup done, or monthly evaluations where we were allowed to do like minimal makeup, we weren't allowed to have any makeup on, and we also had to tie our hair up whenever we were practicing. Another thing was that we weren't allowed to wear leggings outside of practice. Before dance practice, they always wanted us to wear like tighter tops and like leggings so that the dance teacher could easily correct our lines, but outside of practice we weren't allowed to wear leggings, and I think this has to do with like the culture of Korea. They would look at the CCTV to make sure that we got to practice wearing loose-fitting pants. Before we left for practice, we would always have to change into loose-fitting pants or wear loose-fitting pants over our leggings. Another thing was that we weren't allowed to change our hair or do our nails without the company's like permission. If you wanted to like dye your hair, cut bangs, or cut your hair even just like a shorter length, you would have to ask the company first, and the answer would usually be no. Girls pretty much just only had their natural hair colors and kept their hair at like a longer length. The last thing they made us do was send a picture of the clock when we got back from practice. So as we left for practice, we would send the training team a text and also the videos that we had taken for that day. And then after we got back from practice, they would expect us to take a picture of like the clock or a watch to show the time that we had gotten back. And they would just like compare the commute times day by day. Finally, the last thing that we had to be aware of was that we were being watched by CCTV. There were cameras in the corner of every single practice room, and the training team had access to live footage on their phones, so they would just always be monitoring us. If you were sitting down for too long, looking at your phone or your iPad for too long, the training team would send a text immediately on Kakao Talk and scolding you to get back to practice. In the end, we realized that the training team doesn't really wake up that early, so in the mornings we would kind of do whatever we wanted and would like nap in the blind spots or like eat snacks and breakfast. There was a time that we did get caught, but this is getting a little long, so I will save that story time for next time. But those are all the rules that I can think of for now. My comments and DMs are open for questions, so if you have any, just leave them there and I will try to get to them as soon as I can.
My husband cheated on me with another man, and I found out because I walked in on them on the act. I've never been honest about why our divorce is happening, and I'm ready to be now. My name is Carly, and I'm 34 years old. And my husband's name is Brad, and he is 36. And we live in Indiana. My husband has a best friend, Jared. Jared and his girlfriend broke up, and he's been over a lot recently, which I didn't mind. I wanted to be a support system for him. He always said he was going to marry this girl, and now that she was out of his life, I did not mind whatsoever if he came over and hung out with us and the kids. But it turned into every day, which once again, I never said anything. However, sometimes it really was overwhelming because I never got alone time with my husband anymore. Or even time for myself at that. My husband felt bad for me, and he got his parents to watch the kids, and he gave me his card and told me to go to the nail salon and get my nails and feet done. And while I was gone, he was going to pick up the house for me. If you're a stressed out mom, you know how much this actually means to us. So I was so freaking excited. I went to my favorite nail salon, and as soon as I got there, they told me it was going to be about an hour wait. So since I didn't get any alone time with my husband recently, I just thought I'd go home and hang out with him for about an hour, and then I would go to the nail salon. And this is when my world completely shattered. I got home and I instantly saw his best friend's car. Did I care? No. I didn't care though until the moment I walked in the door and I heard the unimaginable. Mind you, I had no idea my husband was into men, nor did I know his best friend was into men. The worst part is my husband is the freaking taker. I have been mortified ever since, and I just told everybody that we just were not working out, which everyone knew was a load of BS. But I was not about to tell them the truth. That was until he started a rumor that I was seeing somebody else. And then I found this page and I said, you know what? I hope this blows up and everyone from Indiana, from our small town, knows exactly what happened. So honey, I hope you and Jared are very happy together. And now you all can come out to the world. because I am done keeping your dirty little secret.
Get ready with me while I talk about some things that I don't understand. The first thing is why some schools go year-round. Like, I really don't get it. I think they just get more breaks, and they literally get out at the same time. With all of the public schools in my area just went year-round, but they just get a fall break, and I'm pretty sure that they get out at the same time. They started a little bit earlier, but they're getting out at the same time, and they're just getting more breaks. Another thing is why people yawn and why other people yawn when they see another person yawn. I'm not all scientific or whatever, but how do people dream, and why do sometimes you have like these out of the blue random dreams and they have nothing to do with anything that you've seen or no one that you actually know is in your dream. I also don't understand why people sometimes don't remember their dreams. Like, I remember almost every single one of my dreams, and when I ask somebody else, or I don't understand how some people don't dream at all. On the topic of the mind, I read somewhere that some people can't talk in their head, and I don't understand, like, what do you do? Are you just in silence forever? Is that why some people like talk out loud to themselves, because they can't talk inside of their heads? Any type of math, I don't understand it. Like, I get basic math, but anything above like an algebra 2 level, I'm not getting it. No matter how good the teacher is, no matter how much I pay attention, no matter how much you tutor me, like, I literally just can't get it in my brain. This one sounds dumb, but how the entire ACT like determines where you go and like how you're gonna live life. You can obviously drop out, but if you want to go to like a good college, I assume you need like a good ACT score or whatever scores. Going back to the dream ones, they also are only like 3 seconds, or like scientists or people say that they only actually last 5 or maybe it's 5 minutes rather than 5 seconds. I don't understand why skincare and everything is so expensive. Like, I really don't need any of this stuff. This goes hand in hand with like stuff that is name brand and like stuff that is luxury products. Like, what makes your stuff luxury? When like you can find a dupe or anything else, it's like the exact same, but you get to be a name brand. Get what I'm saying though? Like, every brand starts somewhere, and what makes the brand get to be luxury? Okay, I'm gonna do my mascara. Last thing that I don't understand is like the Shein games and how they work. Where is Shein getting $300 from to give to all of the people that want to play the game? Not to mention, like, I actually played a game and I got like 4 stuff for free. Like, I don't understand it. Like, why are you giving me stuff for free? All right, lips. Just this. Jisoo.
All right, that's all. Bye, friends.
Hey guys, when I'm running late to school, this is my go-to 5-minute makeup routine, and I wanted to show y'all so that if y'all are ever running late, y'all can do it too. De-Goldie, De-Bronzy mixed together, and then just rub all over your face. It gives you like the perfect like tan but glow. Tower 28 concealer, shade CC, here, 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 and if you have any like spots that you want to cover. And then blend with a brush. The key is to use a brush, not a beauty blender. Okay, Rare Beauty bronzer in shade Happy Soul. Just hit here, here, here. And then blend upwards with a brush. This one's from Real Techniques. It's the flat contour brush. Rare Beauty blush in shade Hope. I kind of go a little heavy with it because blush is the first thing to wear off. And then just blend with a brush. This one's just like flat buffing brush. A Kosas Brow Pop Nano Pen. I just brush up my eyebrows and fill in the front. And then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze. And just kind of brush up and sideways. Tweezerman Eyelash Curler. Tower 28 Mascara in shade Jet. Elf Lip Oil in shade Jam Session. Super easy and it looks good. Bye guys.
Stores that I think should shut down right now. Starting off, very controversial, we have Golden Goose. I'm sorry, but if I'm gonna pay $600, $700, even $800 for a pair of shoes, they better at least look clean. Like, I get that they're supposed to come dirty and that's the point or whatever, but why would I spend almost upwards of $1,000 on a pair of shoes that look like a toddler drew on them and then rubbed them in dirt? Next up, Forever 21. I'm sorry if you like that store, but I think it had to be said because literally they are always messy, and 99% of their shirts are cute until you flip them over, and then just like the picture or the design or the words on them are just not cute at all. I feel like they're just overpriced Shein. And speaking of Shein, we have Plato's Closet, and I know that doesn't relate, but like, let me explain. I'm just saying, every time I bring my clothes there, they literally hardly take any of them, and they'll proceed to tell me, like, your Lululemon or your actual brand is just not what we're looking for, but I go look through there, and they have, like, Shein. And I'm just like, be for real. Next up, we have Aeropostale. I have one in this mall that I go to a lot, and I genuinely, like, honestly don't think I've ever seen a singular person walk in there. I feel like they still just make the same clothes that they made in, like, 2016 and 2017 and never really caught back up with the trends, so their clothes are just, like, very just out of style, I feel like. I think I put on a little too much concealer, but anyways, the next one I have is Simply Southern. Y'all, I went to look on their website, like, for this video when I was, like, coming up with it. I was baffled by what I saw on there because, like, I thought it was bad, you know, when I was in, like, middle school and elementary school. It managed to get worse. Like, I didn't even know it could get worse, but literally $60, $70, $80 for, like, some of the ugliest clothes I've ever seen. Bye. Alright, guys, I forgot to film an outro for that video, but that is all. Bye. Love you guys.
Get ready with me was to tell you about the time my nan tried to meet my mum and my dad. So my memory of this is quite faint. I was 5. So just for starters, my nan has bipolar and like addiction problems and a lot of other problems. That's just a little bit of backstory. My mum and my dad weren't even 25 at this point because I was an accident baby made in college and they didn't have any money, so they were jumping about from house to house really. So at this point, my mum and my dad were living with my nan, who is my dad's mum, who obviously, as we know, had a few problems. My mum and my dad would make effort to try and talk to my nan, but she was just a bit nuts. So one day my nan just completely flipped and was like going crazy, screaming the house down to my mum and dad. Also, I only really know this story from my mum because I was like 5 when it happened. My memory can't backtrack that many years. I can't really remember what my nan was saying, like, when she was screaming, but my dad and my mum were, like, pushing shit up against the door to make sure that no one got in, and that as much as she pushed the door, like, she would not be able to get to me and to them. So while that's all going on, my nan is chasing, like, trying to chase us with... And we've climbed out the window. We have climbed out this fucking window. It's a 2-story building, like, blah, blah, blah. We've climbed out the window. We were on our tangled shit, like, it was crazy. Also, just whilst I'm doing this, you might think, oh, this shit sounds like it's out of a movie, like, this is crazy. Yeah, this is an average Tuesday for me. Like, I'm gonna be real, this stuff happens in my life all the time. Maybe not, like, attempted murder, but big scenarios happen. Okay, so as we've obviously jumped out this window, we have my nan get into the room upstairs. And she's screaming, like, throwing shit. She runs downstairs, runs out the front of the house whilst we're running to our car. So obviously, as this is happening, me and mum and dad are running to the car, like, sprinting. But the car's, like, quite far away from the house because it was quite a secluded house. So at this point, me, mum and dad have just made it to our car and we see my nan get in her car. Also, this is too long, so there's going to have to be a part 2.
I was a boy, these are things that I would stick my you-know-what in. Number 1 is slime. I just feel like that'd be a really interesting feeling. Number 2 is Orbeez. That one's self-explanatory. Number 3 is bread dough. I love the feeling of kneading dough, so if I was a boy, I would definitely want to stick it in there. Just, like, wrap it up in some bread dough, turn it into, like, a little hot dog. Except we have a tub of lotion. I just feel like that feels super relaxing. Finally, if I was a boy, I'd want to stick my you-know-what in me. I just feel like that'd be a really great experience. Let me know, what are some things that you'd want to stick it in?
Since you were born, oh, 'cause you're the reason I believe in fate. You're my paradise.
Everyday makeup look ค่ะ
อันนี้คือเราลงพวกแบบ skin care and prep everything already ก็เดี๋ยวเราจะเริ่มแต่งหน้ากันเลย อย่างแรกนะคะก็ลง concealer ที่ใช้ก็เป็นของ NARS นะคะตัวนี้ดังมากๆนะคะเป็น Radiant Creamy Concealer and it's in custard นะคะสี custard ก็ปาดลงไปที่ใต้ตาแบบนี้ก็แล้วแต่จุดที่อยากจะแบบ cover นะมีตรงนี้นิดนึง okay and you guys can see that I have some freckles here ก็คือมีกระนะคะ which I would not cover them
because I like them that way เมื่อก่อนตอนแบบตั้งแต่เป็นเด็ก casting โฆษณาอะไรเงี้ย beauty standard เมื่อก่อนมันแรงมากใช่ไหมเขาก็จะแบบเฮ้ยน้องมีกะด้วยอ่ะหรือแบบต้องปกปิดให้หมดนะคะซึ่งตอนนี้เราก็เรียนรู้แล้วว่าจริงๆเราก็สามารถชอบในสิ่งที่แบบคนอื่นไม่ต้องชอบก็ได้ Okay, anyway, next use this big brush and do some powder นะคะเป็น NARS แป้งนางฟ้าที่ดังมากๆ I'm going to do my eyebrows ปัดคิ้วกันนะคะ I'm using this mascara from Browett ของน้องชัดนะคะก็คือชอบ Okay, I got a spot here ต่อไปนะคะก็คือ eyeshadow I'm using this palette from I think it's Korean the color that I'm using this one and that one I'm just gonna use my finger and then tap a little bit of like pink same color drag it out a bit แล้วก็ส่วนที่ยากที่สุดมาแล้ว oops เป็นอะไร okay the eyeliner so really thin okay let me do this ต้องใช้สมาธิมากเหมือนกันนะในการจะแบบ drag ลากข้างล่างนิดนึง then brush I'm using this highlighter from Hourglass these two เป็นหลุมไปหมดแล้วนะคะใช้สองสีนี้ then just highlight here give it a little bit of tinting maybe that's a little bit too much Ooh. Pink 3CE นะคะ mono pink oh barely see nothing lipstick นะคะใช้สองอันนี้ NARS สีชื่อว่า Muse นะคะ this one is like matte but powdery okay that's really pink not my kind of thing so I'm just gonna add this alright so it's done
Get ready with me vikaan ekaan koulupäivään koko lukiossa. Siis tää on oikeesti niin crazy. Mä en niinku tajuu. Musta tuntuu, että niinku 2 vuotta on mennyt näin. Ja niinku nyt mä aloitan niinku jo mun abivuoden lukiossa. Tää on niinku ihan crazy. ASMR. Mä low-key niinku en halua, että lukio on ohi. Tai siis mä haluan, että niinku itse koulu on ohi, koulun käynti on ohi, mut siis en niinku tää lukio niinku aika. Tai silleen niinku mulla on ollut niin kivaa ja mä oon tavannut niin paljon silleen kivoja uusia ihmisiä, niin mä toivon, että tää aika, niinku lukioaika ei ikinä loppuisi, mut lukio oikein loppuu, mutta tää aika ei. Ja mä haluan vaan sanoa, jos sä oot nyt niinku 08 ja aloitat lukion, niin sulla ei oo oikeesti mitään to worry about, jos sulla ei oo sun kaverit saman luokalla, tai jos sulla ei oo niinku kavereita sun koulussa, sä oot niinku tullut uuteen kouluun. Sä löydät aina kavereita lukiosta. Siis mä oon kanssa saanut niin paljon uusia kavereita, ja niinku kaikki löytää kyllä, sä löydät kyllä kavereita, kun kaikilla on niin silleen niinku miksatut tunnit, tai se riippuu niinku minkä kurssin sä valitset, ja sellaista, niin sulla on niinku tunteja niin monen niinku eri ihmisen kanssa, niin sä löydät kyllä tosi nopeasti kavereita, niin you don't have to worry about that. Oh my god, siis ajatelkaa, tää oli niin liian tumma mulle, kun mä ostin sen, ja nyt kattokaa, se on niinku low-key liian vaalea. Tai ei niinku liian vaalea, mut niinku joo. Mä oisin siis low-key voinut tehdä semmosen videon, missä mä niinku kerron silleen vinkkejä lukion alkuun ja tollaista. Mut mä en tiedä, nyt niinku koulut on jo alkanut. Niin mä en tiedä, haluatteko te vielä niinku vinkkejä? I don't know, mutta kertokaa jos haluatte, niin mä voin tehdä. Mutta tavallaan niin koulut on jo alkanut, niin silloin ei ole vesillä mitään väliä. Mutta en mä tiedä. I don't know. Nyt mä en löydä niinku... Siis kello on niinku 10:30. Mulla alkaa koulu 12. Mä oon niinku nyt jo näin valmis. Koska mä heräsin jostain syystä niin aikaisin. Mulla oli herätys joskus kello 9:30, koska mä halusin silti niinku silleen ajoissa herää. Mutta niinku, mä heräsin joskus 8:30, koska mulla oli ikkuna auki mun huoneessa, kun tää oli niin kuuma. Ja sit tuli joku roskisauto tai joku tommonen ja herätti mut. Niin tosi kiva. Niin mä oon nyt niinku jo ihan super aikaisin varmaan valmis, mutta ei se haittaa. Ja mun piti puristaa niinku enemmän tavaraa täältä ulos. Se tuli ihan sikana. No ihan sama. Mä saan laittaa niinku tolleen. Juu, oikeesti. Mitä ihmettä. Mä laitan niinku enemmän vielä. Mä en tiedä. Mä laitan kyllä enemmän. Noin. Juu, mitä toi on? Juu, tai siis mikä mä oon niinku. Oh my fucking god. Mä en tiedä mitä mä selitän. Mä varmaan kattaan ton pois, koska toi on niin fucking outoa. No ihan sama. Oh my god. Tää blush on vaan niin hieno. Tää sitten alkoi valua. Siis niinku basically eka koulupäivä on niinku ihan turha niinku tyyli aveille ja kakkosille, koska niinku mitä? Ei me tehdä mitään. Me mennään niinku nytten 12 kouluun. 12. Mä en tiedä mitä taustaa, mut niinku meillä on oh my fucking god, me ollaan kello 12 koulussa. Sitten me mennään meidän niinku luokkiin. Sitten me kuunnellaan sieltä jotain informaatiota, en mä tiedä. Ja sitten me mennään sinne festsaaliin. Niinku, se on semmonen niinku juhlasali. Ja sitten meidän rehtori puhuu siellä jotain. Ja sitten sit päivä on tyyliin loppu. En mä tiedä, niinku, siinä ei ole niinku mitään tärkeää. Tai silleen niinku, no ehkä jo niinku. Vois mä lopettaa niinku sanomaan niinku koko ajan. Oh my god, mun nenä on niin tolleen. Sit lähtee ihoon. Okei, nyt mä niinku laitan mun blushin ja mun highlighterin ja mun luomivärin ja mun ripseiluudesta ja mun kulmakarvet. Ja mä unohdin kuvaa siis ihan kaiken. Koska mä kuuntelin vaan musiikkia ja mä vaivasin ja mä vaan unohdin kuvaa, mä en niinku tiedä. Mutta nyt mä oon siis niinku tyyliin valmis. Mä laitan vielä vähän senomsprayta ja sit mä oon kokonaan valmis. Nyt mun meikistä tulikin aika glowy, mitä tää on. Okei, mä oon sit tämmönen niinku glazed donut tän päivän, mutta mun pakko fiksaa tätä jotenkin. Okei, mä annan vähän niinku kuivuu eka paremmin vielä. Sitten mä koitan vähän niinku puuteja laittaa niinku tähän kohtaan. Okei, nyt tää on ehkä niinku vähän parempi. Toi ei kyllä auttanut yli mitään, mutta ehkä se otti vähän. Mä vielä ripselin mun alaripsiin ja sitten mä oon valmis. Ja sä katoit. Tai hei, mä voin ehkä vielä ottaa mun hiukset alas tässä videossa. Maybe. Mut muuten jos mä unohan nyt taas kuvata, niin kiitos kun katoit. Moikka!